episode 72. Just the two of us. And welcome into the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who won a perfect 3-0 last week.
And I'm Tyler Coe, representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went 2-1.
Give us one more week. One more week.
Give us 2 more weeks. All we need is 2.
Pick number 3, my lord. Pick number 2, my lord. I don't know how long we're going to do this until we just realize that Oral Hershiser doesn't know what he's talking about, and the Giants are just going to be up top the rest of the year. What point are we going to get there? This actually might be the biggest test coming up, which we'll get into later with the crazy tough schedule for the Giants this next week. But yeah, let's just bask in the glory. There was only a 3-game.
Why is it crazy tough? Because you have 4 games against the Dodgers? Is that why it's crazy tough?
That's part of it, but then they also play the Cardinals with the lineup with Arenado and Goldschmidt. So they will play the Giants better than anybody because they cannot contain those 2 guys. That's just the way it is. Tupac. I think first we should just mention that it's a 3-0 week because obviously the All-Star break just happened. We took an extra day off, baseball is doing. Took some days off, but we are back today. Today games are happening. This is before the games happening on a Friday. So we don't know you're listening to this on a Saturday, so we don't know what happened last night yet. So 3-0 week, excited to get back into baseball, but we do need to talk about the All-Star break just for a second. I mean, who can really get too excited about the All-Star game? But it was okay.
The home run derby was cool in the first round.
Yeah.
And then after Shohei was out, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter anymore.
I was team Trey Mancini, and I was really hoping for him to get some love, but of course Pete Alonso just won. It was just like, okay, whatever.
It was Pete Alonso was pretty impressive. I saw a lot of people he repeated. I don't think it's so much that he repeated because there was that gap year in between. But I mean, dude was just hitting bombs.
Yeah.
One after the other. I mean, it was pretty impressive. But after Shohei was out, I mean, I just wanted him to go far just for the story because they were playing it up so much, That's
how it always happens. He's not like a batting practice guy. So, I mean, to expect him to all of a sudden just
once it went to the swing off, I knew it was over. But it was pretty impressive because when he first started in the first round, the first probably 5 balls he hit were just line drives and on the ground, and I was like, oh, shit. This is going to be like when Matt Kemp was in the Derby, and I was so excited, and he hit like 1 home run. And it was like such a letdown. But then he started putting it on. So at least he made it fun. At least it wasn't like a total letdown. So,
and big ups to my dude Caleb Berger, our dude friend of the pod. He really wants to go back to the 10 out format instead of this time thing. How are you feeling about it?
I wouldn't mind it because it did feel pretty long.
Right.
Not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. I like that format better too. The 10 outs.
Plus it's just cool where I mean, you could just go on a run of 5-6 home runs and you're good.
Right.
And then if you get tired, you just take a few pitches. I mean,
yeah.
But I think the MLB, it's just if you stretch it out longer, that means more commercials, more advertising revenue. So
then add another round.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Do what you got.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, but you're having problems with these guys ducking the All-Star game anyways in the home run derby. So that's kind of hard to do. But while we're talking about the All-Star game, I think we need to do a quick get this out of the way. A fuck you of the week. I know it's been talked a lot around baseball, but I want to talk about it again because fuck Stephen A. Smith. And you can quote me on that. Brought to you by Farhan. I mean, it shouldn't like that. That's kind of the problem with, interpreters and the way that things are viewed. I don't know if you remember in 2012, Melky Cabrera was the All-Star MVP, And I'm guessing he felt a bunch of pressure to not have an interpreter with him. So he goes out there and they're asking him questions and he's just not understanding because English is the second language and it's a high stress. I mean, not high stress, but you're on a high, and a bunch of people watching, they're asking him questions, probably couldn't hear that well. And he's answering the wrong thing. I don't understand the problem, why anyone would have a problem with someone using an interpreter to not be misquoted. Cause I mean, you could think something means something and, in a different context, it means something else.
Right.
You'll be able to see these guys' personalities and instead of, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like they'll be able to talk how they talk normally because that's their native language. So yeah. I mean, I think it's dumb as fuck.
The other thing too is Shohei Ohtani speaks English. He speaks English with his teammates. Mm-hmm. There's a video of him giving like a speech or a press conference in English. And if you watch the next morning after the All-Star game when Jeff Passan was on there talking, and Shohei just doesn't speak English publicly. Mm-hmm. So whether that just means he's uncomfortable and, he doesn't feel like his English is good enough to constantly be doing press conferences and interviews in English, whatever, he can speak English. He just chooses not to. And even if he couldn't speak English, who the fuck cares?
Right. How would that hurt the game in any way?
He is the best. He is the best baseball player on the planet. He is the most interesting baseball player on the planet. He's the first. And I'm tired of this Babe Ruth comparison because Babe Ruth didn't really pitch all that much when he started becoming like a phenomenal hitter. Mm-hmm. He didn't. Shohei Ohtani is the first we've ever seen of this caliber, ever. Mm-hmm. So I don't care if he speaks English, if he doesn't, whatever. Who the fuck cares? The dude can play, and he's the best player on the planet.
Yes, I think, I mean, you taking comparing to what he's doing and how incredible that is, I think you probably have to give him that. The only thing with Shohei that bugs me is now that we're off the Stephen A thing, because I mean, I think there's nothing really else that needs to be said. Stephen A is just an idiot. Anytime he speaks about baseball, it's just like, I'm done. Like, just stick to, obviously it seems like he watches football and basketball pretty extensively because at least, it just, anytime he has any baseball or MMA takes, he just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I think he's just trying to push his persona to try to be that guy. So to take anything that he has to say to do with baseball, even something as cultural as what's good for the game, is just ridiculous. But now that we're off of him, there's one thing about Shohei that kind of bugs me just a little bit. One thing that people are starting to get into is they're saying how underrated he is and how we're not appreciating what he's doing. Calm the fuck down. This dude is talked about more than any player except maybe Tatis right now in baseball. I think he deserves it. I'm not mad about it. I think what he's doing is incredible, but let's stop with it's underrated. It's not appreciated. Everyone's appreciating it. Everyone's talking about it as well as they should.
It wasn't until this year, but I don't
think he was struggling at it. Exactly.
This year. Yeah, right.
Which is going to take him a little bit to get acclimated to it. I mean, I think that's normal. I don't think it should be held against him. But I think even on this podcast, we've talked about how I think he should just be a closer and then hit the shit out of the ball. Because it just seemed like he wasn't getting it. Then he had the Tommy John, and it just wasn't going good for him. He just kept on getting hurt out there. Just didn't seem like it was going to turn the corner. But he's bet on himself. He's turned the corner, and fuck, dude, it's pretty incredible.
If like later in his career he ends up going to the National League or any time in his career and he's playing outfield or first base, comes in the ninth, closes it down, and he's hitting 4 or 5 times a game. I mean,
that'd be incredible. That would be very incredible.
He's a great defensive outfielder, and he's a pretty good first baseman too. I mean, he really can do it all. Yeah.
God, that's insane.
Yeah. So we'll see. But just like this pod, everyone else seems to appreciate Shohei and keep appreciating him because that man is a gem.
Yes, he is not underrated. He's properly rated, which is incredible. Let's go to something that is underrated though, which is the San Francisco Giants going a perfect 3-0
Oh
against
my
the
God.
Washington
You're
Nationals.
such a fucking loser.
It is so underrated. It is. It is. They keep
underrated. You have Giants fans
underrated.
being like, "Oh, this isn't that good."
What isn't that good?
The Giants going 3-0. That how can that be underrated? That's perfectly rated.
I'm saying the Giants season as a whole. I'm just saying that we went 3-0, but we're
Everyone's
underrated
giving
team.
them the respect
Everyone's
they deserve.
still
Stop being a little baby. Little baby.
They are not,
baby.
and honestly, I don't want them to, because the thing is when the Giants start having expectations is when they start to go.
Everyone's power rankings, I guarantee you they're in the top 3 in every single platform's power rankings.
Yeah. Well, you would think that the best record in baseball should be number 1. So, but my thing is every single time we turn the corner, it's, well, the Dodgers are going to win the division. It's going to be the Padres and the Dodgers up top. And I can maybe see the Dodgers. I get what you're saying. But the Padres haven't shown shit.
I will give you this, and this is not just me trying to agree with you because I hate the fucking Giants, but I have seen a lot of people still pushing the narrative: Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers, Padres. 100%, the Padres haven't shown me shit.
Nothing. 0.
They're 6 games back. Why are we like they're so good? They're a powerhouse. I mean, it depends what they do at the deadline. That could turn it around for them, but.
Yeah, but then someone else is going to get hurt, and then their fans are going to talk about how it's not fair because other guys are hurt, even though the Giants and Dodgers have had more players in the aisle than them. So I don't know. They haven't shown shit. So fuck them. You can quote me on that as well. But Giants just here's the thing though with the sweep of the Washington Nationals. The way it was set up, you needed to take the series. There was no way that they could lose the series. I mean, the pitching matchups were very lopsided. We didn't get Scherzer. We had our top 2 guys, Disco and Gosman right there. So those needed to be wins. Webb just came back from the IL. He's starting to build up. He's actually pitching tonight. I'm hoping he goes a little bit deeper in the game, but he's still getting ramped up. So we will see what happens there. There's nothing.
Was Gosman supposed to pitch tonight?
He was supposed to pitch tonight. He is on a
family
emergency leave. So hopefully everything is okay with that. There's certain things that are a lot more important than pitching a baseball game, even in the high stakes. So for him to go and take care of that, it must be something serious. So thoughts and prayers to him. You got to take care of family first. So completely get it. I'm hoping Webb goes a little bit deeper today. Hope everything is more hoping that everything's good with Kevin Gosman and his family. But there's nothing really you can break. I mean, they were a beaten down Nationals team that you should have swept, and they did. And that's what they need to do. To when you have the advantage, take advantage of it and kill it. I'm going to run through really quick stud and dud of the week. This one's going to hurt. This feels like daddy's giving a spanking, and it's one of those things where like it hurts me more than it hurts you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the biggest lie parents ever told,
Right. But in this case, it is 100% true. I unfortunately have to give my dud to my man crush, Steven Duggar. He's struggling, man. Hitting 71 on base percentage, 71 slugging, 71. He is not hitting the ball hard. He is not hitting the ball.
He's not hitting the ball at all.
At all. And he's striking out half the time. 7 strikeouts, 14 plate appearances. So got to turn that around, my guy. Done talking about that because I'm done bad-mouthing Steven Duggar because I hate it. It's like the worst time. So, but what I will do, I remember I said something about Alex Dickerson is going to be stud of the week. He is not, but he's still starting to heat up and still finding he's solid. But I have to give my stud to someone who I don't want to say bad now too hard, but have not been very favorable to, and who has proven me dead wrong, and I'm loving it. My best friend, Kirk Casale, killing it this week. Stud hitting 625 with a couple of bombs, slugging 1.6. I mean, right now you're not missing. You're like Posey. Hey, take all the time off you need. Casale's hot. Let him do him. Bart did look good in the games the game that he played. But yes, Kirk Casale. I think I might be wrong in my prediction. I think from the beginning of the year, I think Casale might. I don't think they're going to want to change the dynamic of the clubhouse. They might do something even crazier, which we will get into because we're going to do a little bit of trade deadline talk, but that's a little bit later in the show. But yes, Giants are still in first place. It's a grand old time. It's a Jetsons gay old time.
First, we got to talk about some real shit. Real quick, just let me find my place here. Okay, perfect. So for the Dodgers, I'm going to start off stud and dud of the week. Let's just get it out real quick. Going dud first. Cody Bellinger, just dudding up all over the place. Yeah, he's basically hitting below the Jesse line, like we talked about for the week. Jesse line's under 100.
When I take you like 400 foot dead center when we do this thing, what are you gonna like? And like you can't even like, what are you gonna do with your life at that point?
Well, that's never gonna happen, so I don't have to worry about it. Cody Bellinger, 1 for 12, 1 home run, 1 walk in the 3 games against Arizona before the break. Dude just looks lost. I mean, I've been saying it. I don't want to say all year because he hasn't really played that much. The dude just looks lost. He's taking huge daddy hacks. He's swinging for the fences, and he just doesn't look good. But I'll tell you who does look good. Someone who I shit on pretty frequently, and I enjoy it usually. The NL Player of the Week, AJ Pollock. Went 7 for 11, 3 home runs, and 3 walks in the series against Arizona. Dude has been mashing the ball the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, and this is something we'll talk about in trade rumors. I keep seeing things, Dodgers trade for a big outfielder. I keep like Joey Gallo gets, waved around a lot. Why? Right. We have 3 solid outfielders. Where the fuck is Joey Gallo going to slot in? I don't get it. But anyways, we'll get into that in a moment. But let's talk about the Arizona series. The first game, pretty forgettable. Dodgers lost, of course, 2-5. But that brings us to Saturday's game. And we all remember Saturday's game. Dodgers win 22-1.
Do we really remember it though? I mean,
there was 8 ding-dongs. Most importantly, my boy Albert Pujols taking Josh Reddick deep. God, that felt good. Fuck Josh Reddick, that piece of shit.
Dude, I don't know how to go with that. Like,
it was such a fun game, so fun. And the thing is, I was watching UFC 264 while watching the game, so I was just nonstop action for hours on end, and it was great.
Is it though? When it gets to that point, I feel like it's not nonstop action at that point. When there are position players in, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm not like one of those guys. It's like, oh, just roll over and die. Still play your shit, but at the same time, are we gonna get excited over 22 runs? Like,
well, there was a point. Well, so I forget who it was. I think it was Lux. Lux hit a 3-run triple, if I'm not mistaken. He hit a bases clearing triple, and it was one of those things where like he had to take the triple because the ball caroms along the wall. You want to go station to station, but like you can't just go station and have the guy sitting at the bag for 15 seconds waiting for the ball to come in. But then Lux tried to tag up. Yeah. He tried to tag up on a fly ball like in the right field, and like Dino Evil had to like stop him because we were up like 20-1 at that point. But no, it was fun. Seeing Pujols tee off on Josh Reddick, that was fun. I will admit, it was.
Okay.
And then closing out the series. I'll give it to you because
it was Josh Reddick, so.
Closing out the series with a win, that was big. We lost the first game and the Giants swept, so we lost the game in the division. Padres shit the bed going into the break too, so
yeah,
that's always nice knowing they're 6 back. Yeah, I mean, short week. So the Dodgers opening up tonight or Friday night in Colorado. Bit of a scare this afternoon. Didn't know if the game was going to happen, but it looks like Chichi Gonzalez is going to start for the Rockies. 4 players on the Rockies got placed on the COVID list.
Jeez.
Seems like there's been a little bit of an outbreak from the All-Star game, so not good news for the Dodgers. You know, if they're playing a team that's having an outbreak, hopefully they can kind of skip all that bullshit. The team is over 85% vaccinated, so hopefully that helps. But I think it's going to be big to take all 3 games in Colorado. Colorado hasn't been playing too terrible as of late, but the Dodgers do play pretty well in Colorado, and the team, is down a couple guys. So, and we're putting out, we need to at least win 2. We need to win the Urias game and the Buehler game. David Price is going to close out the series. First time he's probably going to be really stretched out. Maybe we see him for 5 innings.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. And then,
yeah, Colorado actually has a winning record at home, so they do well at home. Yeah. So it's not just like a Diamondback game where it's like if you got to win the series or you suck. Like it's very possible that they lose the series and it's not that huge of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, again, we have a pretty good lineup coming in, and we're getting our 2 starting pitchers out there who are good. So, we need to take 2 out of 3. We need to win the series. Hopefully we can go for the sweep.
And to talk about the Giants' outlook for next week, the Giants do have 3 in St. Louis. I know the Cardinals have been struggling, but because Nolan Arenado and Goldschmidt are on that fucking team, it's just it seems like an uphill battle, honestly. I hope somehow that they win that series and at least split with the Dodgers. If they lose a series, maybe take 3 or 4 from the Dodgers. I don't know. So I'm hoping for a 4-3 week. Yeah, I mean, who knows when Gosman's coming back? This could be a thing where he's, starting the first game against the Dodgers. It could be sometime during the Dodgers series, or he might not come back until after. But this is a huge week coming up, and then followed by another huge week. So Giants need to stand packed, and yeah, that's what we're going for this week. One thing I did want to mention really quick with the Giants, Drew Robinson. I think we followed his story pretty closely here. He is. I don't know if he was released or he's retiring. What exactly was decided, but he is going to be stepping in a role with the Giants organization, being an advocate for mental health. It was great to follow his journey, his AAA highs, hitting some bombs and everything that was going on. It's really great to see him fit into something that he's going to do some, help people and do some really good within the game. Really excited to see what comes of it. And yeah, man. Let me some Drew Robinson, man. I wish him nothing but well.
Me too. I love that dude. I'm bummed that he is retiring because you want the feel good story of him, cracking the big league lineup, but very happy that he's finding something that he's gonna slot into very well and make a difference in the game. So sad to see him go, but he's got on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. You started off.
So the second part of the Dodgers and Giants outlook for next week is a critical 4-game series at Chavez Ravine. It's going to be critical for the Dodgers to take 3 out of 4. No matter what happens in the series prior, Dodgers
critical,
need to win the series. Critical.
Wow.
Absolutely critical. Any chance you can take to gain a game is huge. That's a big swing, splitting the series and winning the series. The only thing that I'm curious about is what are the pitching matchups going to be, because it looks like we're definitely going to get Gosman, as long as all his family stuff, if he's able to come back, he's obviously going to be well rested. We're going to get Gosman. We're going to get DeSclafani, your boy.
Yeah, it seems like DeSclafani is like a monster to the rest of the league, but for some reason the Dodgers, he's having a tough time figuring them out. The last start against them, he was better, but he was not as dominant. But yeah, looking for him to continue to get better against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and for the Dodgers, I'm assuming Tony Gonsolin's going to go. Julio should be on rest. Buehler maybe closes out the series, and maybe at some point Kershaw comes back from the IL. That would be ideal, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to a series with the Giants. It's going to be fun. It's going to be
nothing better.
Intense, yeah. There really is.
I think that this is going to be. I mean, the only. It's going to be all pitchers minus, one from each rotation. Obviously, the starter that the Dodgers are going to miss is Johnny Cueto, which could go either way. Cueto does pitch pretty good against the Dodgers, so that kind of sucks. But Logan Webb does pretty well against them too. So I'm guessing it's going to be Disco, Gausman. I mean, not in this order, but Disco, Gausman, Webb, and Alex Wood. So I don't know. I think Alex will probably open the series, but yeah, I like our chances of at least going 2 of 4. I feel like that's the most likely scenario. Obviously everyone's hoping for a 3 of 4 or a sweep, but that's pretty, I guess bold to predict. So I'm gonna think these guys split. And I hope that the Giants can conquer Arenado and win the series. There's no way they're sweeping the team. It would be a miracle if they win the series. So, yeah, I'm gonna go for a split there.
Yeah.
And Alex Dickens is gonna be hot as shit. He is gonna be hot, coming in hot.
I'm gonna say the Dodgers take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. I don't think they get the sweep, and I'm gonna say the Dodgers go 3 of 4 with the Giants.
I don't know.
I think my boys are gonna come in hot. And
I think Dick Fever is sweeping San Francisco, and Dick Fever, the plague of Dick Fever is going to come in and just beat the shit out of the Dodgers, and we're going to get a split.
I doubt it. But who knows? The Dodgers could make a splash before the Giants series, which brings us to our next segment. We got a little trade talk going on. I think now more than ever, and Andrew Friedman echoed this as well, because July is it. That's not just the non-waiver trade deadline. Now it's just the trade deadline. That's it.
Really? There's no non-waiver trade deadline? I did not know that. That's really huge.
They started that last year.
Oh, is that forever gone?
Yeah.
Shit, I thought it was just a 2020 thing. I know they didn't do that last year, but oh wow. I thought Scherzer, for me, I thought Scherzer was gonna go, but it was gonna take the Nationals to wise up till August. Because it was gonna take them okay, we're still 6 games out at the end of August. So then they were gonna end up trading him. So shit,
they would have to put him on waivers. Because it used to be.
I understand that, but teams did that still. I mean, they did that with Bryce Harper. They did that with with Justin Verlander.
Someone would pick him up.
No, someone would pick him up, and they'd have to make a trade, and they would just disagree with nobody. I mean, they would just agree with nobody. There was ways around it. Teams did it with big name guys. I mean, Justin Verlander was traded to the Astros, so that it happens. But that's what I thought it was going to take, because I feel like the Nationals still think that they have a shot to make the playoffs. So they're holding on to Max Scherzer. But in August, when they're 6 games back and 3 games under 500, they're going to be like, all right, fuck it. Let's at least get something for him.
Yeah, no, that is no longer the case. Wow. So this is it.
Scherzer might not be traded.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the Dodgers are going to do. But I'm also curious what the stupid, stinky Giants are going to do. So we'll have you
really nice diss. Stupid, stinky Giants. Yeah. I hope you didn't stay up too late thinking of that one. I think
better on 2:30.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really we're gonna go. We're gonna go a relief pitcher, a starting pitcher, and a position player of choice. I mean, obviously these guys have to be available. This is actual predictions. So this is not just something throwing up there like crazy. You're not trading for, Fernando Tatis for nobody. So we will, Tyler, who's your first guy? Who are the Dodgers picking up for X guy?
So I'm not going to say who I really want. I think I'm going realm of possibility, who I really think the
realm of
Dodgers are going to
possibility.
pursue.
Yes.
I think starting pitcher, I think it's between Charlie Morton of the Braves.
Charlie Morton has been talks, right.
And John Gray of the Rockies. I think
okay.
those are the two. Some other names have come up. Danny Duffy of the Royals has been a big one. Hendricks from the Cubs. Also Cole Hamels tomorrow, I believe, or no, today actually, the 16th. He was having that pitching showcase. Dodgers are going to have some scouts there. So that would just be funny to me if the Dodgers finally got Cole Hamels after every year at the trade deadline saying they were going to get him.
Just talking about him. Right.
But I think realistically it's going to be Charlie Morton. But I'm curious because, the Braves did trade for Jock Peterson. And I saw someone on Twitter make a great point that in 2 weeks, if the Braves are even further behind, they can flip Jock Peterson. So I don't think Charlie Morton, that trade would happen until
very
a couple days before the deadline, because I
right.
think the Braves are trying to get some guys to see if they can turn it around, and they're going to be on a very short leash before it's just a complete fire sale.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Dodgers do need to trade for someone like yesterday. Just, an innings eater. We talked about maybe, Tyler Anderson, that sort of thing. But yes, I think Charlie Morton, right after Acuna went down, just something that you never want to see. I just thought, damn, the Braves should probably just start flipping guys. They have a really strong farm system, and if they just add to it, they'll be in play for World Series run next year. But this year is just shot for them. So yeah, I think they might be sellers at the deadline too, which is
my
prediction
insanity. Of a rematch of the NLCS seems very unlikely.
Right.
Very unlikely.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna end with starting pitcher because I think that's gonna be a blockbuster. That's what I got here. So I'm gonna go relief pitching first. I'm gonna go Raziel Iglesias is gonna come from the Angels. If he's not a rental, he might have one more year on his contract. But I don't think he would cost that much. I think he would cost maybe a Connor Menez plus a mid-level prospect like a Tristan Beck. That's who I think that would be able to steal Iglesias away, because I mean they only gave up, I believe, a mid-level prospect to get him, and that was buying him high. He was like the shit in Cincinnati. So to have him kind of struggle in Anaheim, but then he's obviously started to pick it up and has looked really good. I think you would be buying a little lower, but at the same time guys might be calling on him, so you might have to give two you free up that 40-man spot with Connor Menez, plus he has a lot of potential, and you got a solid prospect in Tristan Beck. So that's who I got relief coming to the San Francisco Giants. Happened, done deal.
Yeah. And I just was thinking about it. It really sucks that the Cincinnati Reds are closing in on the division. I think they're only like 4 games out, and they're right behind San Diego in the wild card, I believe. Because Luis Castillo a couple weeks ago was very much an idea for the Dodgers to go after, but now that door has seemingly been slammed shut. And also, just because I see Scherzer on the TV, there's no way in hell I think the Dodgers trade for Max Scherzer. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they would want too much, and Scherzer wouldn't want to sign an extension, and I just don't see it happening.
No, I think they said that Scott Boras said he would only get traded, waive his no trade clause, if they did sign an extension.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you said Scherzer wouldn't sign an extension.
No, he would want an extension.
Yeah, and teams would extend him. Are you kidding me? A 4-year extension?
He'll
at least get down to open market.
But because the Dodgers don't know what's going on with fucking jackass Trevor Bauer,
right,
and his contract, and a guy who helped start this fucking mess, I don't think they can commit $150 million when they don't know if that salary for Bauer is going to be if alleviated or what.
Right.
But anywho, going into, I'll go relief pitcher here. I think the Dodgers go after Craig Kimbrell. I think that's who they want to go after. but I don't know if they can get the deal done without it being a package deal.
He's owed a lot of money. I'm sorry, but they were fire selling trying to get rid of money. I don't think Craig Kimbrell is going to cost as much as people are saying. I honestly don't think he's going to cost Akiva Ruiz. I think he'll cost
there's no way.
DJ. Yeah, I think he will cost maybe a DJ Peters or a mid-level prospect, and the Dodgers probably have to take all that money, which I think they're okay with. I don't think it'll take much to get him, honestly, unless teams just start getting bidding wars.
I'm just very worried that because I believe the Giants are going to go after Chris Bryant, that the Cubs really want to package Kimbrel and Bryant together and maximize what they can get out of it. But if the Dodgers can just go straight Craig Kimbrel, it just takes someone on the 40-man. And I think, DJ Peters, that would be lovely. I would love to see him gone and a low-level prospect, but I don't necessarily see it happening. It's in the realm of possibility, sure. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, and since you brought up the Chris Bryant trade, that would be my position player. Would be a Chris Bryant. Now, let me say, I don't think they're going to trade for a position player. Honestly, I think at the realm of needs, position players would be at the bottom of the list. Yes, anyone can use a Chris Bryant. He comes on the team. He's the best position player on that team. I just don't know if they're going to be outbid because I don't think they're willing to give up as much for a rental. I do believe Chris Bryant will be wearing, black and orange in 2022. I think that's his approach. Plays multiple positions. Stick him in left field for 2022 and then give him third base after Longoria's contract goes up. I think he's eventually going to be a Giant, but I am going to say if they get any position player that they go after him because he's a rental and he might not cost that much. Maybe guys don't want to give up that much shit. So that he'll cost I believe he would cost like an Austin Slater, and a couple of prospects, maybe like a Sean Jelly, and maybe like a lower prospect if you throw in like a Diego Rincones, or someone along those lines, maybe like a Jalen Davis. I don't know. Not sure what the Cubs are looking for, but I think the main package deal would be around Sean Jelly. He's like a 15 prospect. He's I think that could steer Chris Bryant. I mean, get us Chris Bryant along with a couple of little pieces, and that would be great because I love me some Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
I'm
just looking at the Dodgers active roster here.
Active roster.
Your boy Jimmy
Sherfy is now Sherfy. He is now a Los Angeles Dodger.
Yeah, he is on the active roster.
Yeah, he was picked up on waivers.
Yeah.
Other roster moves, my man, the famous Jay Jackson is now with the San Francisco Giants. He's really good numbers in AAA. Really excited to see him out of the bullpen. See if he can make us not go get Iglesias and shut shit down. 18 strikeouts, 11 innings. What's up?
No one cares. For the Dodgers, a position player, I see a lot of people saying, I think I've seen a lot of people saying we need a left-handed bat.
Right.
I don't see it. I really don't. I mean,
right.
People love to hate on Matt Beatty, but I think Matt Beatty can be pretty clutch. And then you have McKinstry. And then when Corey Seager comes back, you'll have Lux might not start every day at second base. Chris Taylor is playing second base. Then you have Lux on the bench. It's three lefties. I mean, sure, Joey Gallo is a better left-handed bat.
Right.
But do you really want to take Joey Gallo on and have him platoon with A.J. Pollock out in left field? No.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like some of the Chris Bryant trade and someone like Joey Gallo, yeah, they might be a tick better than maybe who you got there now. I mean, Chris Bryant obviously would be, I think, a little bit more of an uptick. But you have the most home runs in baseball. Dodgers, they have a great offense. Do you really want to take some of your farm system to add to your offense when you have glaring holes in your starting rotation, both teams? Like you're going to take care of that. And Yeah, I mean, if Chris Bryant is available and it doesn't cost that much, yeah, sure, you'll go for him. But the thing is there's teams that need a third baseman. The White Sox need a third baseman right now because Moncada's been out. So
they also need a second baseman.
Yeah, so like I think that they're going to be like, we'll do more than a Sean Jelly. We'll give you a little bit more. We need Chris Bryant. And then the Giants were like, we have the most home runs in baseball with the outfield we have now. I think we're okay. I'm not giving up fucking any of our top 100 prospects. So
no, I just don't see it happening. And when Corey Seager comes back, there's going to be some roster moves. I think the Dodgers just drop a pitcher, a bullpen guy, and keep the bench the same. But I'm fine going into the postseason. I keep seeing people like Albert Pujols' time is coming to an end. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Albert Pujols is going to be on the roster, make the postseason roster. That's just going to be what it is.
Postseason legend. That's what you want. I mean, you don't know what someone's going to do in the postseason. You know what Albert's going to do. Albert's going to have some big knocks. That's just big facts. Yeah. So, to my last guy, this is going to be a blockbuster. Let me just set it up just a little bit. Farhan has been talking about need for need trades. A team that is not ready just yet, has an influx of starting pitching, is the Miami Marlins. They Sixto Sanchez, they got a bunch of guys coming up, and they don't have catching depth. They don't have any big catchers coming up. So I'm going to propose a blockbuster trade. Okay, the Giants don't want to give up any of their top 100 prospects, but they would if it was somebody with a lot of club control and who is worth it. And this guy is. The Giants are trading for Trevor Rogers from the Miami Marlins and are sending over Joey Bart, Hunter Bishop, and Nick Sweeney.
Man.
Blockbuster trade. I mean, the Giants
is pretty big.
It's a need for need. Obviously, the Giants don't have starting pitching depth and a lot of catching depth right now. And as far as giving up a prospect, Buster Posey's been doing better than anyone expected. I think he's good for at least another couple of years. Then last year's first round pick was Patrick Bailey. Ricardo Genovese has been killing it in the lower levels of the minor leagues. So in a couple of years, those guys might be knocking on the door. And if Joey Bart can get you a number one like Trevor Rogers, you throw in a little bit of Hunter Bishop in there, maybe in another prospect in there, I think that might be able to get the job done because the Marlins aren't going to be ready to compete for at least another year or two. And that way, Trevor Rogers' deal would probably be only a couple years left on the deal before he's a free agent. So,
yeah, I just don't see them. I don't see them willing to part with Rogers. I think he might be one of their untouchables.
Believe it. Okay. Everyone is up for grabs for the right package. And I believe that's a very good package with Bart, Bishop, and Sweeney. Might even throw another guy in there if they need it. Maybe even instead of Sweeney, throwing an Alexander Canario. That gets the deal done. I think you do it.
We'll find out. It's going to be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of talk, even for the Dodgers, like Jose Barrios from the Twins, but they're saying they want a 40-man guy and two top 30 organization prospects.
That's not
There's no fucking
a 40-man guy. Okay, Jose Barrios. I'll give you one right now. You ready?
I'm saying for the Dodgers, dog. No one's taking Keibert. Keibert is not going anywhere.
A top 30 guy. That's not a problem if it's not a top 5 or top 10 guy. If it's like a 10 to 15, maybe get one that's closer to 10. One guy that's like a 10. Like for us, it would be like a Sean Jelly, and then you throw in a lower guy like maybe you throw in Ricardo Genovese in there. And then your 40-man guy is someone like an Austin Slater, someone they have a lot of depth in the outfield. So you throw in an Austin Slater or a Jalen Davis, send him back to Minnesota. I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
I'd be cool if the Dodgers got Kenta Maeda back. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
And if the Dodgers really want a left-handed bat off the bench, you know who they get? In
Jock
2
Peterson?
weeks with Jock Peterson, baby. when the Braves fucking suck shit for the next 2 weeks,
right?
Dodgers trade for Morton and Peterson. there you go. There's your left-handed
There
bat.
it is. Whoop, there it is.
Perfect platoon in left field. Let the Padres go get Joey Gallo and still finish in third place. Yeah.
Even though they just scored 10 runs against the Nationals, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
That's one game. They still suck. Fuck them. Anyways.
As always, this episode is brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where now all spring and summer candles are 50% off. Just use promo code 50blowout at checkout. Get some summer candles before they're gone until next year. Fall is coming pretty quick.
Yeah, Summer Blowout. Frozen. It's a Frozen reference. Yeah, it's a good movie. Good flick. Small company, Disney. Check them out. They're really great. Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform as well as YouTube, please. And yeah, follow us on Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, on Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and on TikTok, Benches Cleared. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be seeing you guys next week. Hopefully there's some trades by then. If not, we'll see ya.